Vedanta Seza Goa Ayanor, proudly serving people, community and country. Vedanta Seza Goa Ayanor presents Rasto, Rahgir, Suraksha. आमची नाती कितकी पयस जरी असली जाल्यार आमकां एकामेकाक जोडपी एक गोष्ट आसा, ती म्हणजे हो रस्तो. हो रस्तो आमकां लेफ्ट टू रायट आनी नॉर्थ टू सावथ खंयसर जरी वचोंक जाय आसलें जाल्यार आमकां तो पावयता. आतां ह्या रस्त्यार भोंवपी म्हणजे आमी राहगीर, आनी ह्या रस्त्यार राहगिरांची सुरक्षा गरजेची. गोंयांत फाटले कितकेशाच वर्सांनी रस्त्याचें बरेंच जाळें जालां आनी ह्या जाळ्यार भोंवपी गाडयोय वाडल्या. लोकांची इन्कम वाडली, राहणीमान सुद्दां वाडली. फाटल्या एपिसोडान आमच्या मानेस्तांनी तुमकां हाजो आढावो घेतलो आनी रस्त्यार जावपी अपघातांचेर नजर हाडली. तशें पळोवंक गेल्यार ह्या रस्त्यार बऱ्योच स्टोरीज जातात, चडश्यो हॅपी पूण थोड्योश्यो सॅड एंडिंग्सान जाता. पूण सॅड एंडिंग जाता तरी कित्याक? सरकार पक्ष म्हणटा की ते ट्रॅफिक पुलीस डिप्लॉय करून सिवीक सेन्स मेंटेन करपाचो पुरेपूर प्रयत्न करतात. मागीर आमी राहगीर हो सिवीक सेन्स मतीन दवरतात, आमी कितलोसो लॉ ऑफ द रोड फॉलो करतात आनी मोर इम्पॉर्टंटली आमी ह्या ट्रॅफिक पुलिसांक कितकोसो रिस्पेक्ट दितात. आयच्या ह्या एपिसोडान आमी मेळटले काही लोकांक जे आमी म्हणटात गार्डियन्स ऑफ द रोड, म्हणजेच ट्रॅफिक पुलीस. जाणून घेतले काही असे विशय जे तुमकां आनी आमकां खूप गरजेचे आसात. आनी लास्ट बट नॉट द लिस्ट, गोंयाचे DGP मुक्तेश चंदर करतले मार्गदर्शन ऑन सिवीक सेन्स. So stay tuned to our second episode of Vedanta Seza Goa Ayanor presents Rasto, Rahgir, Suraksha, Journey to Zero Harm. रस्त्यार सुरक्षेची देखरेख करप ही जबाबदारी पहिली आमची आणि सरकार पक्षाकडच्यान ट्रॅफिक पुलिसांची आसा. गरमी, पावस आणि थंडी, दीस आणि रात रस्त्यार हे आमचे ट्रॅफिक पुलीस आपले काम करतात. आमी जर सिवीक सेन्स फॉलो करीत जाल्यार हांची आमकां गरजूच ना. बट दॅट्स नॉट द केस विथ अस ह्युमन बिंग्स. वी लव टू प्ले विथ स्पीड अँड चॅलेंज द लॉ, आनी देअरफॉर ह्या लॉ ब्रेकर्सांक हँडल करपाची जबाबदारी ट्रॅफिक पुलिसांची जाता. आमच्या तोंडांतल्यान केन्नाच हांकां बरी उतरां येवची ना, पूण हे आपली जबाबदारी चोख निभयतात. कोणा खातीर तर आमच्या खातीर, आमच्या सुरक्षे खातीर. आतां बारीक जर तुमी पळयलें जाल्यार घरांतल्यान भायर सरतना आमकां आमचे आवय बापूय आमकां बरो करून यो रे बाबा म्हणटा. आयज ट्रॅफिक इतकी वाडल्या की आमी जरी ट्रॅफिक रुल्स फॉलो करता आसत पूण दुसरो आपल्या हलगर्जीपणा खातीर त्रास आनी अननेसेसरी स्वताची आनी दुसऱ्याची वाट लायता. रिझल्ट सिंपल, ट्रॅफिक जॅम. आमच्या ह्या एपिसोडान आमी उलयतले अशे काही मानेस्तांकडे जे हे गार्डियन्स ऑफ द रोड अक्रॉस गोवा डिप्लॉय करतात आणि वाठारांत सिवीक सेन्स मेंटेन करपाचे काम करतात. आमी पयलीं आयले DYSP एडमिन कोलासो हांकां मेळपाक. तांणी बरेंच काम केलां इन एफिशियंटली मॅनेजिंग ट्रॅफिक ड्युरिंग हिज टेन्युअर SPI ट्रॅफिक.
When we buy a mobile phone, if it is very expensive or a normal smartphone, we ensure that we put a cover for the mobile phone so that in the event it falls down, it doesn't get damaged because it is expensive. When we buy a bike, especially a scooter, we spend more money, additional money, and we put a crash guard. So if it falls on the road, it doesn't get damaged. In the same way, we also install crash guard to rear and front bumper of some expensive cars, SUV. But unfortunately, it's good. We have to, because we need to protect. We need to protect our things. Unfortunately, the same thing we are not following when we are riding a bike or driving a car. We fail to wear a helmet or fail to fasten the seat belt, which are actually important things that ensure our safety in the event of a road collision.
कोलासो बाब साध्या शब्दांत सिवीक सेन्स अमॉंग्स पीपल एक्सप्लेन करपाचो प्रयत्न करतात. एक्झाम्पल सिंपल जरी असले पण ह्या क्षेत्रांत डिफिकल्टीज आणि चॅलेंजीस सुद्धा खूप आसा.
Difficulties and challenges would be the same thing. One is तुजो आमचो attitude towards driving, and second thing is most of the time people, when they are stopped during enforcement for random checking or even for violation, they try to throw their weight around. First thing is that they will say, "Tu म्हाका वळखता, कोण तो जाणा. They try to, it's just one form of intimidation. So they are trying to see if you go on the back foot, they can get off. They can get off. But most of the time that doesn't happen. Like this is one of the challenge where people try to intimidate you. They try to throw their weight around, and they try to get off. Most of the time, people try to get into arguments. Now, arguments would be like this: if a particular person is stopped for a particular violation, he will question you. How dislo tuka? To disong na. Now see, enforcement is not individualistic or this. It is random. It is random. Now enforcement is not 100%. It can never be 100% because a person standing on the road for enforcement is 1 or 2%, and you cannot stop all the violators at the same time because it will lead to chaos. Normally where we conduct enforcement, it is एक 2-4 मटरा जाग्यार घालपाक मात्र अशें करता. See, we cannot, because it is not that ह्या स्पॉटार ताका सोडलो तो गेलो म्हणून तो सुटलो अशें ना, because enforcement teams are stationed different parts of the road. So हांगा चुकल्यार तो थंय वतलो, पूण people try to get into argument. हांव दिसलो तुका, म्हाकाच कितें करता, हें करता तें करता. This is one this thing. Third thing is that I feel people should be considerate towards the policeman doing his duty at a particular point on the ground level, because he faces lot of dust, he faces lot of heat, he faces lot of rain, and he faces lot of pollution. He or she standing at the point is the most vulnerable person, and most of all he is ensuring that you are given a proper passage on the road. He guides, he regulates the traffic so that traffic flies smoothly. Imagine, because आता आमकां संवय जाल्या प्रत्येक जंक्शनाचेर एक policeman जाय. Imagine if a policeman was not there, he was not controlling the situation. You imagine what type of a chaos it would be. Because that person is there, he is controlling the traffic, he is regulating traffic, not taking this thing of whatever adversities he is facing. He faces all adversities and ensures our this thing.
डिफिकल्टीज खूप आसात, पूण ह्या गार्डियन्साक आमी बायस कित्याक म्हणटात काय? हे गार्डियन्स आर द हिरो, पूण आमच्या हलगर्जीपणा खातीर ह्या गार्डियन्साक आमी विलन्स करून दवरल्यात.
See, it is our human nature, but there is no this thing like see, we cannot stop people from talking. People will talk a lot of things, but the only thing that we need to is that we need to understand that we are there to enforce the law, and we have to enforce the law in letter and spirit. मागीर तातूंत दुखताच न्हू कोणाक. It is like that. कोण सापडटा तो चोर. It is like that. But see, people also should realize that.
The thing is that people consider you as villains, I would say.
But law
that is the general perspective.
But law, but in the eyes of the law, I believe the police are the heroes.
Well said.
The road is used by all sections of society, all age groups. Now the question is, who are the troublemakers?
See, एक basic also age group we cannot also आम्ही segregate करूंक शकना, because offenders are in different age groups. Offences are committed by riders or drivers of all age groups. But more specifically, the biggest challenge the traffic police is facing as of date, I believe and I feel, and I'm sure it is true, it is the pre-teens and the teenagers who are either 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th or in the high secondary schools. Basically, these are, most of them ride motorcycles and drive cars, and over 95% are without valid licenses. See, they need to understand. They need to understand, more specifically, their parents need to understand. They are not licensed to drive. In fact, they also need to understand one particular thing, that in the event of an incident, God forbid something happens, it can be a catastrophe to your own child and to the person who comes in contact with the vehicle. So I sincerely feel that parents, especially parents of teenagers and preteens, need to understand this, and they need to take steps to prevent their children from unauthorizedly using their own vehicles.
पावस, थंडी, गरमी हे गाडयन्स आमच्या सुरक्षे खातीर झडत असतात. आणि हांकां कोणें विचारलां काय तांकां कशें दिसता तें?
The situations that we work in to ensure that the general citizen doesn't face any difficulties, like we are managing the traffic, that is why the general citizen, we provide safe conditions. Now, my staff, the subordinates, we are all human beings. We also come from the same community, same society. We also have festivals. We also need to participate in festivals, family programs, which are essential, and other rituals. We do have a problem. Staff does have a problem, but to the maximum, we try to accommodate them. We try to adjust, but they make a lot of sacrifices. They make a lot of sacrifices. Compared to others, they make a lot of sacrifices. But in the end, we manage.
आणि मोर इम्पॉर्टंटली हो सॅक्रिफायस आमकां समजता काय?
I don't think so. Commuters, see, as I have told you, like, I cannot blame the whole society. But in my 2 years, the 2 years of experience that I have in traffic at Pursharing, or basically in a traffic department in Goa Police, is that nobody is bothered about you. Nobody is bothered about the sacrifices that you put, the difficulties that we face. And in the end, you are given a very raw deal. You are abused. You are abused. You are labeled. You are labeled. Because general perception of the people is corruption. Now, I'll tell you general perception of people against of the traffic police. They accept money on the road. They say they accept money on the road. It is a fact. Now see, it is a fact. They accept money on the road. But what do they accept? They accept the fines that you need to pay, and they are entitled to collect. General perception लोकांचे कितें जाता, पुलीस रस्त्यार रावता आनी पयशे घेता मरे. They are collecting fines because they are authorized and they are empowered. दुसऱ्यांक कोणाक कळना न्हू, तिसरो मनीस जो पळयता, because when he collects the fine, a proper valid receipt, a challan copy, is given to you and it is written there, received rupees so and so towards fine of the compounding of above offence. So I feel that people need to be a little more considerate, considering the nature and conditions, climate conditions, whatever faced by the traffic police, and standing at that point for long hours and ensuring that no chaos is there at these traffic points.
आम्ही प्रॉब्लेम्स पळयले, मागीर ह्या सगळ्यांचेर सोल्युशन कितें आसतलें?
See, first of all, I'm giving you my opinion based on my experience. It's become a fashion, it's become a trend, or it's become a in thing to have a cop. Now, for example, everyone and anyone needs a traffic cop on the road to regulate the traffic. Now see, as road users, as vehicle users, we are given motor driving licenses because we know the law. There is a specific test. The licensing authority or license issuing authority issues your license because you have passed a test. There is a certain minimum test that you have to pass. You have passed the test. And after obtaining a license, you need to follow the law. You need to follow the law, and you are supposed to follow the law while driving the vehicle. And if you don't follow, then you have to face the law. एक, as I have said, जो ट्रेंड जाला, म्हाका ह्या जंक्शनाचेर पुलीस जाय, पंचायत मेंबर वील रायट सेइंग दॅट आमच्या फुड्यान एक 4 रोड जंक्शनार थंय पुलीस जाय. सी, पुलीस cannot be everywhere. And I say that police should not be everywhere. Police should not be everywhere. Because when we know the law and when we abide the law, there is no this thing. Because first we, at a junction, for example, at a traffic island, we need to know how to drive or to whom we have to give priority, which vehicle, coming from which side. So if that circulation is done, there is no need for a traffic cop. Second thing is what I feel is that human interface should be eliminated. Should be eliminated. Use of technology should be introduced to manage the traffic. And a most important point is to change our attitude towards driving and to be better road users who respect and give due respect to other road users, who respect the law as well as give due respect to other road users. Yeah.
ट्रॅफिक स्ट्रीमलाईन करपा खातीर आनीक अशें कितें करूं येता काय विचारुया कोलासो बाबाक.
See, as I have discussed with you, the infrastructure thing. Now see, putting up infrastructure cannot be done overnight. It requires planning, it requires approvals, it requires execution. So government on its part is doing a lot to improve the conditions. But what we need to understand as road users that in the available infrastructure, we need to आम्ही त्या सारख्या व्यवहारान जाग्यार घालपाक जाय. Now we have seen people, a car is parked haphazardly where the spots are designatedly marked. Spots of 2 parking cars are taken by 1 car by parking it in a slanting way or parking it this thing. See, we need to understand, as I said, we need to respect the law and give due respect to road users. आम्ही अंडरस्टँड जावपाक जाय न्हू. ह्या डेजिग्नेटेड पार्किंग स्पेसीन जर हांवें म्हाजी गाडी घातली जाल्यार दुसरी स्लॉट आहा पळय, दुसरो स्लॉट आहा तो दुसऱ्याक वापरूंक मेळटा. सो बेसिकली another thing regarding parking is that we have mentioned is what I feel is पळोवपाक गेल्यार न्हू पार्किंग प्रॉब्लम हो तुका मेन सिटीन जाता. इन सिटीज बेसिकली बिकॉज ऑफ कमर्शियल एस्टेब्लिशमेंट्स. Now commercial establishments जो पळय आहा, owner of a commercial establishment brings a car or a vehicle and parks it in front of his own establishment and he keeps it parked there till throughout the day. Now you are denying the parking facility to a person who visits the city on some important work. So I'm still saying available infrastructure जो आसा तो आमी वापरूंक जाय. If it is used efficiently, at least 50% of the problem can be solved. It's not an issue, but we need to understand. And one of the right step would be to initiate pay parking in city areas.
And as well as multi-level parking.
Multi-level parkings, yes, multi-level parkings are required. But as you see, when we have multi-level parkings, we also will require efficient public transportation system, because that will be at one particular point and you will need to go to different points. So that is also this.
आता विषय येता ह्या आमच्या गार्डियन्स आणि हांकां सक्षम करपाक. आयकुया कोलासो बाब कितें म्हणटा ते.
Yes, see, we do have, and as far as my knowledge goes, although I have left the traffic cell just a few days back, from my information, almost all the traffic cells in Goa have been equipped with breath analyzing machines, and they are doing a random check. Every day they are booking cases. What we lack, not totally lack, but what we have in less numbers are the speed radars. The problem with this is these are all electronic machines, and electronic machines are bound to fail. Mass system failure जालें की ताका मातशें error येत जाल्यार तुका हें जावचें ना. So in fact the traffic department is working on it to procure more speed guns, and आसा पळय ती faulty जाल्यार पळय ती repair करून वापरप. But still they are using at I believe at least at 4 locations, especially on highways, the speed guns are used and cases are booked.
आता पळोवया गोयचे डीजीपी मुक्तेश चंदर ह्या विषयाचेर कितें मार्गदर्शन करतात ते.
अगर हम 2015 की बात करें तो 300 से ज़्यादा मौतें गोवा की सड़कों पे सड़क दुर्घटनाओं में हुई हैं. और अगर हम रोड सेफ्टी और ट्रैफिक सेफ्टी के बारे में जो नियम हैं उनका पालन करें तो इस संख्या में काफ़ी कमी हम ला सकते हैं। गोवा की सड़कें बहुत अच्छी हैं। आजकल जो मोटर बाइक्स हैं उनकी रफ़्तार बहुत तेज़ है और जो यंग जनरेशन है उसके अंदर एक एनर्जी लेवल बहुत ज़्यादा है। इसकी वजह से ये देखा जाता है कि गोवा में ख़ास तौर पे जो मोटरसाइकिल्स हैं वो बहुत तेज़ रफ़्तार से गाड़ी चलाते हैं। डिवाइडर, जो सेंट्रल डिवाइडर जो होता है आमतौर पे बड़ी सड़कों पे देखने को मिलता है, वो बहुत जगह पे गोवा में नहीं है, या वाइट मार्कर जो बीच में है वो भी बहुत कम जगहों पे देखने को मिलता है। इस वजह से बहुत सारे लोग ओवर स्पीडिंग करते वक्त गलत तरीके से ओवरटेकिंग करते हैं और उसके बाद दुर्घटनाओं का शिकार होते हैं। शराब पी के गाड़ी चलाने वाले भी काफ़ी हम लोग पकड़ते हैं। सड़कों का डिज़ाइन भी काफ़ी जगह पे ऐसा है कि जिसमें दुर्घटना होने की संभावना होती है। इसी तरह से सिग्नल हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत कम है, हमें सिग्नल भी बढ़ाने की हमारी आवश्यकता है। जो पैदल यात्री के चलने का प्रावधान है उसके लिए जो फुटपाथ होना चाहिए, जगह जगह पे ज़ेब्रा क्रॉसिंग होनी चाहिए और सड़क को पार करने की सुविधाएं जो मुहैया करानी चाहिए, उसमें भी काफ़ी काम करने की हमें ज़रूरत है। तो इस सिलसिले में हमने एक सभी स्टेक होल्डर्स की मीटिंग की थी, जिसमें ये कोशिश की गई कि सभी को कुछ ना कुछ रोड सेफ्टी के बारे में जो कदम उठाने चाहिए वो लें, तो इसमें काफ़ी हम अच्छा काम कर पाएंगे। और काफ़ी इस बारे में कार्रवाई हुई भी है। साथ के साथ स्कूलों में, क्योंकि बच्चों को सड़क सुरक्षा के नियमों की जानकारी होना बहुत आवश्यकता है, क्योंकि वही बड़े होकर फिर सड़क का इस्तेमाल करेंगे एज ए ड्राइवर या पैदल यात्री के तौर पे। तो स्कूलों में सबसे बात की गई है, सभी स्कूलों में रोड सेफ्टी कोऑर्डिनेटर्स बनाए जा रहे हैं और हमने ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम जो ट्रैफिक सेफ्टी के अंदर एजुकेशन का बहुत बड़ा हाथ है, बहुत बड़ा रोल है। तो एजुकेशन के बारे में हमने बहुत मेहनत की है स्कूलों में जा के, और हर शनिवार गोवा में 2 जगह पे फ्री ट्रैफिक ट्रेनिंग क्लासेस हम लोग लगाते हैं, जिसमें सभी डिपार्टमेंट्स को लिखा गया है। आम जनता का कोई भी आदमी इस ट्रेनिंग कैंप में आ सकता है। दुर्घटना से देर भली, एक कहावत है कि दुर्घटना ना हो चाहे देरी भले हो जाए, आप समय से पहले निकलिए, मार्जिन लीजिए। अगर आप कहीं 10 मिनट देर से भी पहुंचेंगे तो कोई आसमान टूट के गिरने वाला नहीं है। सेफ्टी सबसे पहले है। चालान का अमाउंट तो मोटर व्हीकल एक्ट में जब बदलाव आएगा तभी होगा, फ़िलहाल जो है हम उसी से काम चला रहे हैं। एक और जो मैंने विचार किया है कि गोवा में हमें ई चलानिंग सिस्टम लाने की बहुत ज़्यादा आवश्यकता है। ई चलानिंग से एक ड्राइवर की हिस्ट्री हम उसमें स्टोर कर पाएंगे। कंप्यूटराइज सिस्टम अगर होगा तो जितने भी वो नियमों का उल्लंघन कर रहा है वो उसकी हिस्ट्री शीट में लिखा जाएगा, और जब ये देखा जाएगा कि बार बार ये ट्रैफिक नियमों का उल्लंघन करता है तो उसके ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस को सस्पेंड करने के लिए या कैंसिल करने के लिए ट्रांसपोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट को विद हिस्ट्री हम लिख पाएंगे। तो ये मेरा प्रयास रहेगा कि ई चलानिंग सिस्टम जो सक्सेसफुली दिल्ली में, बॉम्बे में, बेंगलोर में और बहुत कई राज्यों में चल रहा है, वो सिस्टम लाया जाए। क्योंकि आज की डेट में मैनुअल हम चालान करते हैं, हमें ये नहीं पता चलता कि आज जो ओवर स्पीडिंग करते हुए पकड़ा गया है ये पहले 4 बार पहले भी कर चुका है, इसका रिकॉर्ड हम नहीं निकाल पाते हैं। तो आने वाले दिनों में हम ये भी कर पाएंगे। मैं यही कहना चाहूँगा कि ज़िंदगी बहुत कीमती है, आपके खुद के लिए, आपके परिवार के लिए, समाज के लिए, गोवा के लिए, देश के लिए। इसे यूँ व्यर्थ सड़क दुर्घटनाओं में मत गंवाइए। अगर आप ट्रैफिक नियमों का पालन नहीं करेंगे तो खुद आपके लिए भी खतरा है, और जो अन्य सड़क का इस्तेमाल करने वाले व्यक्ति हैं उन लोगों के लिए भी खतरा है। हेलमेट का प्रयोग करें, तेज़ रफ्तार से गाड़ी ना चलाएं, शराब पीकर गाड़ी ना चलाएं, अपनी लेन में चलें, जिगजैग ना चलाएं। और जब कभी भी आप गाड़ी चला रहे हैं, आप हमेशा इस बात का ध्यान रखें कि घर पर आपका कोई इंतज़ार कर रहा है।
आमच्या फुडल्या एपिसोडान ह्या रस्तो राहगीर आणि सुरक्षेचो आणि एक साइड घेऊन आम्ही तुमच्या मुखार येतले. तोपर्यंत सेफ जर्नी आणि पळयत रावात वेदांत सेजा गोवा आय नोर प्रेझेंट्स रस्तो राहगीर सुरक्षा जर्नी टू झिरो हार्म.